Welcome to Golfers HQ Academy, and today we're going to be focusing on maintaining a good posture throughout the swing. Your posture has a direct influence on how the club works around our body, the angle at which the club works around our body, i.e. the swing plane. The swing plane is vital to get right if you want to hit good, clean, consistent shots. And I'm going to give you a really good drill to help facilitate this. Before we get on to the drill, I'm going to show you a few poor postural positions that I see and what effect this is going to have on the club shaft and what sort of poor shots that we can see from these positions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up correctly with this 3-wood here. I've chosen a 3-wood only because my alignment stick, which I'm going to use for the drill, is a little bit longer, and also we tend to see people come out their posture with a longer club, so 3-wood driver, when the power's up, tend to see some moving body parts. So here I'm going to take my setup, backside back, slight knee flex, a little bit of arch over the ball, hands hanging underneath my chin, weight across the middle of my feet. So I'm set up correctly, and now I'm going to run through a couple of things we see in the backswing in terms of coming out of your posture and what effect that's going to have on the club. So here, as I take the club away, what we tend to see is a little bit of hip thrust towards the ball. So if I work it away, notice how my hips have raised, I've stood up, and I've almost closed this gap between my hands and the club shaft. What that's going to do is my hands are actually going to start to work out in front of me, and the club's going to start to work in this flat position here. The problem with this is as we work the club down, I'm going to start to squat into this, which sometimes is a good thing, but the shaft angle is a little bit too flat and my hand path is working from right to left. So the shots that we're going to see from there, we're going to see some heel strikes, some shanks, some fat shots, and some slices. None of them are too great, okay? And the other position that we see into the backswing is as we take the club away, some of us get a little bit too bent over. Not going to be able to create too much power from here, and your body rotation is going to be pretty minimal. So as I take the club away and I bend too much over, also into the downswing, I'm probably going to stand up out of this position. The club shaft's going to go up and the face is going to point off to the right. So you're going to see lots of the right hand side of the golf course with those swings, some weak right shots. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the drill. So the drill is just going to be pretty simple. You can do this at home or you can do this on the driving range when things get going again, but it's just more about creating a feeling. Okay, so I've just got an alignment stick here. And as I said before, it's slightly longer than normal, so I've obviously got a 3-wood to facilitate that, but again, it's good doing it with a longer club. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the alignment stick into the ground here, and I'm just going to take my postural position, and I'm just going to set up, and I'm just going to put some pressure into my midriff with this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my setup, my hands just above the shaft, and all I'm going to focus on is I'm just going to focus on trying to maintain this shaft angle that I've created with my hips and the ground, which is similar to the shaft angle of the club. Okay, so if you start to take pressure off, this is going to start to come away. You're not going to be able to feel it anymore if I start to work too much down. Okay, and it's only my joggers that are holding this up. If I start to work it too much upright, it's going to start to dig into me. It's going to start to get a little bit painful. Okay, so all you're going to focus on, you're going to try and focus on maintaining this posture, maintain the pressure on the alignment stick. Okay, so now I'm going to hit one and see if I can maintain my posture throughout the swing without this moving too much. Here goes. Here's the slow motion of me hitting the shot. I've got the alignment stick into my midriff where my belt would be. If I had some trousers on, that's where my belt buckle would be. Backside out, slight knee flex, good postural position, arms hanging down. So now we're going to work it into the backswing, and I'm just going to really try and focus on keeping that backside in the same position, keeping my spine angle the same. So we're going to work it up into the backswing. And notice how I managed to keep the club shaft on plane. So if I stop it halfway up, notice how if I draw a line through the club head, down through my hands, I should bottom out where the tee is. And then if we work it into the weight, into the downswing, notice I've got a tiny squat, still minimal movement on the alignment sticks, so still very stable. Now we're going to work it into impact, good shaft angle position, impact, good postural position. Notice how my legs work out of the way, so there's plenty of room for my hands to swing through, and I managed to keep it on plane all the way through into the finish. So this is what you're looking for, just try and keep that spine angle and your backside in the same position so the club can work freely around your body and your hands can work into the correct position at impact. So just to recap, maintaining your posture throughout the swing ensures that you create a really good swing plane around your body, and that will help us hit the ball at the middle of the club face and nice and straight.